welcome to Tech Wednesday. And a very special Tech Wednesday is this month because it is Women in Tech. And we're very, very excited. We've actually teamed up with an amazing series of events this month called DidFest. I'll talk a bit about that at the end, and I'll make sure I send some links out to that after. Has anyone heard about DidFest Diversity and Digital Festival this month? Hey, some good hands going up. That's good. How many of you have, is this your first event of the month? First event of the month? Oh, well done. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, how many of you have been to more than 2 events as part of DidFest this month? Okay, a solid 2 hands from the organisers. That's brilliant. Okay, great hands, great hands. Okay, so just a little bit, as always, we love you to kind of get involved, you know, try to populate this. It's not the same, everyone's going around, that'd be brilliant. Use the hashtag, follow us. We are part of Innovation Birmingham, so this is where, that's what I present here. We are the biggest community of digital and technology-minded and focused entrepreneurs, collaborators, and workers within the country. Sounds pretty radical. I'm pretty sure it's 100% true. And we're just really excited for you to be a part of our community tonight. If it's your first time here, a really, really warm welcome. If it's your second time, really, really pleased to see you again. We provide lots of support and events and community-led activities because we're really passionate about bringing the community together. Being an entrepreneur, working on your business can be a super lonely place, and we really want to try and bring some brilliant solutions to that. So we're really glad you're here working with us tonight. And if you would like me to help you introduce to somebody, please don't be a stranger, come and speak to me at the end. I'll try and connect you to someone if you're looking for, we've got some recruiters in the house tonight, some developers, some people who are looking to collaborate on business ideas, if you're looking for funding, maybe even working abroad, how can you get to other markets such as India. I've already met people who do all those things tonight, so if you want to be connected to somebody like that, please come and find me at the end and I'll do my best to help. So these are our speakers for tonight. I'm very, very excited about them. Our first one is Janae. It's actually her first time speaking tonight, so can we all please be very enthusiastic when I welcome her up and make her feel well supported. Amazing, completely self-taught, only met her a couple of times through Tech Wednesday, and I'm so glad she's part of our community already. Second up, we have Zoe Bennett. Zoe Bennett is a personal development trainer and inspirational speaker. I just thought what an amazing, slightly different tack to our normal Tech Wednesday, but I just thought, you know what, we're all over those January blues, and if you're still feeling a little bit blue, well, you know it's March, it's time to get over that. So hopefully after our chat with Zoe, we'll all feel pumped and ready to take on the rest of the year. And then last but not least, we have Claire Streets. You may be thinking, that is not the name I saw on Meetup. Unfortunately, our other speaker had to drop out for a very uncomfortable circumstance. So she will be with us in another month though, so we're actually planning a bigger event with her later. But Claire has very kindly, with 24 hours notice, stepped in the gap. So that's what we like, you know, these women, excellent at multitasking. Of course I can do a speech, 24 hours notice. So Claire will be joining us at the end. I have whizzed through this a lot faster than normal. I'm just aware we've got a lot to cram in tonight. I'm going to try and keep the time. But I'm going to wrap up with the stickers. So put your hands up if you know what these stickers mean. Yeah, okay, yeah, interesting. We're doing them for about a year now, and people still, you know, always still to learn. So the whole point of these is to help you network a little bit easier. Networking can be a bit scary. I myself, despite it being a huge part of my job, even I get nervous about it. You never really know who you're going to talk to. You might have a goal in mind, what you want to get out of your networking. These stickers are going to help you do that. If you are running a startup or running a business, you've got a green sticker. That's what you're about. That's your skill set. That's your interest. If you're looking for opportunities, that could be to collaborate. You may be looking to hire somebody. You might be looking to invest in another business. You've got a yellow sticker. If you are a developer, pretty self-explanatory, what that's about, you've got a red sticker. If you're in marketing, business, sales, business development, anything of that ilk, you've got a blue. And if you are hiring, that is a lovely sticker. We love to see it. It always means growth. You've got orange. But my absolute favourite is the gold star. That means you're new. So if you see somebody with a gold star, please be friendly, go say hello. It's not always great being the first newbie, but we really want to champion that. So if you've got a gold sticker, can you put your hand up? Ooh, so I'm really feeling the hands So, yeah, well, I really hope you feel welcome, and I really hope you meet lots of new people tonight. So, I'm just thinking what else I need to quickly tell you. Okay, before I pass on, I need to let you know how to get out of here if you have a fire. So, if there is a fire or an emergency situation where you need to get out of here to literally stay alive, this is what you need to do. You need to get up calmly, and you need to exit via the nearest, closest exit. The doors will automatically open, and we're all going to exit in the most safe location. If there's fire and smoke coming out of one door, even though it's open, don't go that direction, okay? Go out the clear direction. The muster point is at the front of the building, on the stairs, on the green verge. We'll all try and meet there, okay? If you don't make it out, don't worry, we'll send the fire service in after you. We'll be okay. Brilliant. Everyone feeling safe? Everyone feeling prepared? It's quite quiet tonight. Kind of want a bit more like, energy. So, yeah, perfect. We're going to get out alive. Much better. Okay, so before we kick off with Janae, I've actually got a 1-minute pitch from a lady we work very closely with. Her name is Debbie Lucinda. And she's going to talk to you about West Midlands Women in Tech Awards.
Thanks very much, Pia. Thank you very much. So just a very quick 1-minute pitch. A recent report done by Pricewaterhouse said that only 3% of young girls are actually looking to go into technology. What are we going to do about it? So I've got together with a group of really inspirational people, also working with the DidFest team, so thank you for that. And it's all about, I'm a great believer, you have to see it to aspire to it. So we've got a great event happening on the 3rd of October. I've got a number of sponsors on board, still looking for sponsors for the event. And the whole idea really is to recognise the great work that's being done by women in tech in the region, and also to inspire the next generation. Just very quickly, a very exciting connection that I discovered whilst researching this was that Sir Tim Berners-Lee's mother, Mary Lee Berners-Lee, was actually born in Birmingham, actually went to King's Norton Grammar, went to the University of Birmingham, and she actually is known as the grandmother of coders. She worked on the first computer, the Bharathi one, that was actually created, and she was the first woman to get equal pay for male and female coders. And at this event, we're actually going to create a Hall of Fame. David's very kindly said that we can do the Hall of Fame here. And I've actually been in contact with Tim Berners-Lee's team, which is very exciting. We're not actually had agreement yet, but we're hoping to get somebody from the team to actually come and accept the award, which will be so very exciting. So we're going to also set up a Lifetime Achievement Award. She will be the first person to receive that award, and that will really put Birmingham on the map. If you want to find anything else out about the event, then I've actually got a very prominent West Midlands Women in Tech Awards banner over there. Do come along and have a quick chat. Thanks very much for the opportunity.
Very good. Maybe slightly over a minute, but we'll give her grace. That was very useful. Okay, so, Janae, are you ready? Are we ready for Janae?
Ooh, it's a good start.
This always happens. It was literally perfect before you were all here. There we go. Okay. I literally did nothing other than like touch that with the lightest touch. Anyway.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name's Janae. I'm Digital Director at a company called Exhibit Interactive. And I'm here today just to talk to you about who I am and what I do. So, if I was to ask you what you think a typical app developer looks like, maybe you think they look like this. A male, he's got glasses, surrounded by screens. You're not alone in thinking in that way, unfortunately, but it is a common misconception. What if I was to tell you that I'm actually an app developer, and I specialise in creating applications that range from augmented reality and virtual reality. And I'm here today to talk to you about what that is, first off, who I am, and how I got involved in this tech industry, and the future trends involved in it as well. So yeah, that's me. I don't fit the typical mould, being a black female in an industry that is dominated by men. But what I will say is that anybody can get involved in this industry. You just gotta have the tenacity to get involved. And what I will say is that I am not an expert in my field. My background is actually in design, and I graduated in interior design. And when I graduated, I was looking for some work experience, and I actually came across a exhibition stand company who employed me. And it wasn't actually until when I was at these events I actually saw innovative tech being used, and I really wanted to get involved in it. So fortunately, I had a boss at the time who was really supportive and said, "Okay, go on, you can do it, try." And so I did. And first off, I started learning coding languages, predominantly iOS, Objective-C, and started doing scampy little apps that way. They were a bit bad to begin with, but there you go. And then it sort of went off doing rendering packages such as Mateo, and then going off into gaming packages such as Unity. And from that, Joe, who was the co-owner of Exhibit Interactive, we worked together at this exhibition stand company, and we saw sort of a future in this technology. So we thought, okay, do you think we could do something with this? And we were like, yeah. So that's how EI was born, and this is from a period of about 6 to 7 years, and this is where I am now. And what I will say is that anybody can get involved in this industry. As I said, I'm not an expert. What I will say as well is that I'm constantly learning with this all of the time. This industry is constantly changing, stuff is constantly updated, and being involved in this industry is constantly feeding into that. And I'm constantly learning as well, and I always get a buzz about learning something new and seeing this tech being used. So yeah, if you think that you can't do it, then you can. Okay, so what is VR and AR? I'm about to tell you. So that's AR. So AR is augmented reality. And augmented reality is when computer-generated objects are generated over a real-time view, camera view, and that's via a device like a mobile phone or a tablet. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. What I will say is these are all projects that we've created in the last year or so. Take a look. It's a bit loud. Sorry about the music, guys. Okay. So, as I said, these are all projects that we've done. So these are all projects that we've completed. And I'm going to show you an example of 3 different versions of augmented reality. It is very loud. Okay, no sound, cool. Okay, that works. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 different examples of augmented reality. So as I said, we've completed these projects in the last year or so. And with this particular version, so what you're seeing here is a combination of camera footage and device footage. So this is a marker-based augmented reality. And what happens here is the actual camera is tracking off an image. And once the image is seen, it then augments content on top of the marker. And this content can be a range of CADs, other elements such as audio, video, additional CADs. It can be a range of stuff, and as you can see, it's really quite descriptive. and quite an effective way of showing a particular client's product or service. The next one I'm going to show you is of planar service augmented reality. This version is actually tracking off horizontal surfaces like the floor or vertical surfaces like the walls. And as you can see, it's real-time scale view. So I don't know if you noticed, there was a buggy user there just walking past, and the scale of this augmented buggy was exactly the same. And that's a really effective tool to actually visualize in how these products would naturally work in your own environment. And a key example of that is IKEA Place. So if you haven't actually downloaded that app, I would have a go at it. If you want to have a look to see what various pieces of furniture looks like in your house, then you can do that. And it's an ideal way of finding out whether this type of stuff will go in your living room or fit or look nice. And yeah, it's a really useful way of augmenting. And the last version we're going to show you is of portal-based augmented reality. And with this, you can actually plop a doorway anywhere and then actively walk through it, and then you're transported into another location. And it can be anywhere, so you could be in another country, a room, gallery, doesn't matter. And then once you walk through, you can then actively interact with all the elements in the room, like as before. You can start touching stuff, changing things around, interacting with elements, getting audio descriptive. And as I said before, it's really effective way if you have customers or people who can't actually get to you or your service or your product, then this is an ideal way of bridging that gap. So the opposite to augmented reality, so virtual reality. So that's when a user's consciousness is actually transported into a virtual environment, and that is done by a headset such as the Oculus Go or HTC Vive, etc. So again, I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of projects that we've done in the last year or so. And what you're seeing here is a combination of headset footage and, again, camera footage. And with this particular example, we had a client who creates some pretty nifty glass. And the benefits of the glass typically would be hard to describe to a prospective customer. So they wanted to go down the route of VR. And with this application, we could showcase all the various different types of their benefits. So how the glass can protect from UV protection, how it can protect from noise pollution, how it can also protect from air pollution as well as being sturdy. As you could see there, a ball hit the glass and it didn't break. So naturally, in the real-time world, you wouldn't be able to show these types of elements, but in virtual reality, it was a really effective way of doing that. And the second version I'm going to show you is of a medical application we did. I'm going to apologize for the footage in the background. It was for a real-life medical company. It's a bit gory, and I'm sorry. But what it was, this company, they actually wanted us to create a theatre that actually hadn't been built yet. And what they wanted us to do is then model in lots of their products into the application. And then what they did then was then ship this application out to their sales representatives, who then learned about all of these individual products on a more of a deeper level, so they understood how they worked, what the benefits were, etc. And in turn, they then went on to then sell on to their prospective clients. And yeah, as you can see, it's a really effective way learning tool. And it's really exciting to be working on this project, as it's currently being rolled out in America and in Europe. So we're really excited about developing it even further. And the last version I'm going to show you is of a modular build company. And these guys, they actually build houses off-site, believe it or not. And then they transport them like in a jigsaw puzzle and sort of plot them up together on-site. And they wanted to show the comparisons of traditional build versus modular build. With traditional build, sometimes it gets weathered off, it takes longer, there's hazards involved, etc. So they wanted to show the comparisons between modular build and traditional, whereas modular is a much more quicker and efficient way. And they also wanted to add in a little bit of a shock element to sort of tie in with this application. And as you can see there, Lucy was a little bit shocked, and it was really funny to see her that way. Okay, so what are the advantages of these tech? So yeah, it allows global reach. So if you've got customers who can't get to your product or your area or service, then this type of tech bridges that gap in an effective way. As you can see, they can just download an application, put on some goggles, and there you go, they're experiencing your product straight away. So it allows that. So yeah, it's a great visualization tool, and it allows in-depth experiences. So customers can actively react with your product and interact with it on a more deeper level than they normally would. And this type of technology facilitates that. The emotional engagement, there's actually a statistic that says that if you're more practically involved in learning, such as virtual reality, then you're 90% more to retain that information versus more traditional methods such as reading about it or watching it. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. So it reinforces brand ID. So pairing this type of technology with a brand can do that. And it leaves a lasting impression, generating powerful emotions like awe. And what I mean by awe is when you experience something for the first time and you're just shocked about what you've just experienced. That type of emotion is quite a powerful emotion to pair up with your brand or service. And it's something that you should definitely, or we should definitely home in on more. And so it's a great activator tool, and it generates conversation. So I've seen it time and time again where clients and users have used this technology, and they've surrounded around a group of people, and they're talking about what's going on and experiencing it all together. And I never get tired of the experiences that I see, and it's just really, really cool thing to be involved with. So I'm just going to quickly pick up on the trends where I think this type of tech is going. So yeah, I think it's going to go more to mass market. It currently is doing so at the moment with the beauty and retail industry getting involved. I don't know if you guys are Snapchat users, but actively that uses augmented reality where it's overlaying lots of stuff on your face. The beauty industry is getting involved in that, where you can try on makeup, lipstick, eyeliner, change your hair colour, and then actively just buy these products straight out of the application. And it's the same for glasses, so you can try on glasses before you buy them, trainers, clothes. So yeah, it's definitely going to go more so down that route, I think. And also the Army is getting involved. I don't know if you've heard as well, the US Army have recently heavily invested in the HoloLens. And yeah, it'd be really trippy to see how they're going to be using that, so really interesting. So, big players like Google and Apple and Microsoft, they've already involved in this tech and they've heavily invested in it already, and they really truly believe in where this technology is going. So I think that they're going to invest in it even more so, and it will be really exciting to see how they develop that even further. And lastly, if you have Netflixed, I would suggest watching Black Mirror. It is a proper trippy series. And it actually demonstrates augmented reality and virtual reality in a not too distant future and how it's going to be used. And it's quite scary but exciting at the same time. So yeah, if you want to have an idea of where it's going to go, then give it a go. So yeah, so thank you for listening. I want to say that us at EI, we're a really friendly group. So if you think that this type of technology is something that could appeal to you, then yeah, get in contact. If you want any type of advice, then obviously talk to me after. I've got some live demos as well, so I've got my iPad with me and a couple of markers so I can show you some bits and bobs. We're a friendly, really friendly group. We do everything all in-house. And what I will say is if you do want to contact us, then connect with me via LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. And at EI, we come at a more of affordable angle. So this type of technology is not as expensive as you think. So yeah, if it does apply to you, then definitely get in contact. And thanks for listening.
Really good. Right, so we have a couple of minutes for like 1, 2 questions. Anyone has a question? No. Oh, there it goes. Always like a way to put. Can I start here? Sorry, he was quick off the mark.
Hi, Jania.
Hello.
Is there any device that you can have augmented reality unobtrusively, just like with your glasses maybe, and see something displayed in front of you, and it's not doesn't bring too much attention to you?
Unfortunately, the type of stuff that's being developed at the minute is quite bulky, but it is being refined. It is getting better. For example, what's it called? Gear? Is it called a gear? It's gone out of my head now. I'll think of it. I'll come to you later. But they do look like a pair of like goggles. They're not very fashionable, but they have got better. But yes, it's getting there. But it's at the minute it doesn't look very fashionable.
Right, I've got one back here.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
It was more. You could put the last slide on.
Oh yeah, okay.
If that's the last slide. Thank you.
We'll make sure we share all these details and stuff in our catch-up email after the event that we'll do as well. So if you want to get in touch, you can grab
Magic Leap, that's what it's called.
Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Thanks, that's really exciting, really interesting. Just wondering, is it very cost prohibitive for smaller businesses? What sort of budgets does it start to get possible?
Like I said, it's really attainable. We have done projects that have ranged from as little as 5K, going all the way up to whatever. So it depends on what your budget is. But we have done entry-level stuff before where it's been even lower. So it depends on what the budget is and where you want to take it, really.
Oh, I always think that's such a hard question when you haven't seen the brief, but well handled.
Thank you.
Well handled. Okay, and then last one over there before we move on.
Okay, right. Wow. Do you have anything that simulates technical configurations? For example, configuring server, configuring routers, switches, and so on and so forth?
Not really, no. I have only got augmented reality and virtual reality applications that I can show you today, so I'm not quite sure if I can help with that.
That's your website there, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes,
I'll get in touch, no worries.
Fantastic, thank
Okay,
you.
cool, thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Janae. Excellently handled, even with those tech gremlins sneaking in there. What a pro. Okay, so before we move on to our next speaker, I'm going to invite an old face. Some of you are going to recognize. Don't get too emotional about this. No, not old in terms of age, but as someone very close to my heart. You will recognize her as Naomi Watts. She used to work with me here and help me do Tech Wednesday, so pleased she's back. So have a round of applause. I know. I just need to manage your expectation, guys. She's not back. You still are only stuck with me, sorry. But 1 minute, tell us what you got to say.
Cool. Thanks, Pia. Really, because I always had to try and find these people to do these 1 minute pitches, so I thought I could do it now. It's just to let you guys know, for those of you that you know me, to kind of update you on what I'm doing now, and for those that you don't, to tell you what I'm doing now. So I now work for a company called Tech Nation, which is a UK-wide network of ambitious tech entrepreneurs. I'm based in Birmingham, but I cover the entirety of the Midlands, and there's a me in all the different regions around the city now, around the country now, sorry. So I'm expanding my network. I'm looking to find the next kind of, I'm not going to say the next big thing, because you're all the next big thing, and we want to help absolutely everybody. We've got programs to help every stage of business. We've got sector programs, but actually my kind of day-to-day job is just to kind of connect you with the people you need to talk to, similar to what Pia was saying earlier about if you're looking for somebody, you need to find people like Pia and I, because we know the people to introduce you to. So come and find me afterwards if you're looking for anything, if you're looking to expand to the rest of the UK. Thank you all.
Superb. Superb. So, okay, so moving on to our next speaker, we have the amazing Zoe Bennett. Could you make your way to the front, please, while we give you a little round of applause?
Thank you so much. Fabulous. Marvellous. So, hello, everybody. Come on, I'm going to give it a bit more than that. We've been sat here, we need to shake it off. So, hello, everybody. Fabulous. Okay, there's energy in the room. That's what we want. So, I am Zoe Bennett, also known as the Motivational Queen. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, what a bold title. Why not a bold title? That's what you need to all do. You need to stand out. And especially in any industry, you really need to stand out above your peers. So, for me, I am an international speaker. And the last international gig that I did was in India, where I was also awarded Iconic Woman, Creating a Difference for All. And I'll give you an idea of what that means. So, for instance, I actually wanted to help the homeless. And I was out with one of the homeless charities. And as a bus went by, he went, if we could get a bus, that's a postcode. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, then that way, if the homeless can actually get this converted into accommodation, they can use that as a postcode. I thought, okay, then fine. Next day, picked up the phone, and I used one of my contacts, and I said, can you give me a double-decker bus that says, let me just have a quick conversation with the other people at West Midlands National Express, and a call back, yes, Zoe, you can have a bus worth over £80,000 for nothing. So my whole point of telling you this is that you have to stand in your own purpose and stand out amongst your peers. So being called the Motivational Queen actually opens the door for me, because I connect people a lot. And I help people within business also. So I've also written a book called Networking Personified, and it's all about the art of business relationships, understanding people, understanding body language, and everything that goes along with it, and looking at it as a long game as opposed to what can I get out of it right this minute. So when it comes to networking, you've got to say to yourself, what can I put in as opposed to what can I get out? When you change that mindset, lots of different things happen, more opportunities happen for you. And the thing is, when you go to a networking session and you're thinking, well, I didn't get anything from there, but no business, actually, you don't know yet. That's the thing. It doesn't necessarily come after that first meeting. It could come with building that relationship over a course of time. So I knew this lady who actually worked at National Express West Midlands many, many years ago in a different field that I was working in. So obviously I built and kept the relationship going, and that's the key. So I also am the founder of the Midlands Business and Community Charity Awards, where we give all the profits to charity, and we actually recognise and value unsung heroes in both the business and the community world that go the extra mile for other people. So it was very important for me to give a platform that's very transparent, where it's a public vote. We have an independent accountant, and we also, to the point, have literally the public vote is handled by an actual tech company that's, again, independent. So we also had last year Sir Lenny Henry accept an award, our award ceremony, because he believes in what we do. And why? Strong personal brand. So you might think that you work in tech, you don't need a strong personal brand. You do. If you want to stand out, if you want people to remember your name, to come to you, to do business with you, or give business to you, or refer you, you have to stand strong in your brand. And it's not a case of it's the company overall is a brand. Every single one of us is a brand. But we have to change our mindsets to realize that and do what we can to be memorable when we're not there. So what you want to do is to make everybody, as many people that you touch and you come into contact with, your marketeer. If you can make them your marketeer, even when you're not in that room, they are talking about you. They are recommending you. Do you see where I'm coming from? So, for argument's sake, I had a gig from Lloyds Bank, so I actually delivered leadership training blended with motivation to the top leaders of Lloyds Bank through the United Kingdom. And I didn't advertise myself for that. I didn't literally look for that. What happened is because I would put myself out there and I was on social media and they were searching for the best motivational speaker in the Midlands. And they came across myself on LinkedIn. And they just connected with me, they asked me to speak, and for an hour they gave me £2,500. That's where I'm coming from. So you have to put yourself out there in order to get the actual business coming to you, but you have to put yourself out there with the edge. Always give yourself that edge. And you might think that in tech you don't need that. You do, in every industry. You do. It's not a case of hiding behind the computer screen, hiding behind the technology. You want people to, if you have your own business or you're thinking about going into your own business, why would they do business with you? You always have to think business-minded regardless of your technology skills. And it's great the skills you have. You've got something that the business people don't have. You have both the business skill and the technology skill. So utilize that. You have such power, sometimes you don't realize. And actually, it's something that you can market on and actually literally level yourself up upon. So also, I have a partnership deal with NatWest Bank. So I deliver the Motivational Queen Masterclass to people within business who want to level up to the next level and actually do better than where they are right now. So I've created an actual program called the 9 E's Excellence Plan. Now, what the 9 E's Excellence Plan does for you is give you a foundation. Every person, no matter where you come, whatever background you're from, if you want to get ahead in anything, life or business, you have to create something solid for yourself, for you to grow upon. If you don't set a solid foundation, and you're always going to wonder, why am I not succeeding? Because you have to make sure whatever you do, you have to do to your best of your ability and actually make sure that you're hitting everything where you need to hit it in order for it to move on to the next level and level you up. So I'm going to go through the 9 E's Excellence Plan, but I'm just going to just go over another part of my business. So I own the company Training Personified. So I deliver into corporate organisations, also within schools. I have agents for speakers. I'm on the School Speakers Agency, and I'm also on a celebrity website where actually I get speaking gigs for corporate organisations as well as delivering training. Again, you have to put yourself out there. Think, what can you do? So if you're trying to look for business, look for maybe directories you can put yourself on. As you all know, the more sites that you are on, the higher you're going to rank as well on Google. So for myself, I'm on so many different sites. When you search my name, because imagine there's lots of Zoe Bennetts in the world. I am number 1, 2, 3, all the way 4, all the way down on that page. It's all me because I'm actually putting myself on other people's sites as well. So it's really important, if you want to be found, that you're on as many sites. So look for business directories. Lots of them are free. You know, look for networking groups that have an online platform. Get your profile on there. But the key thing when you're putting your profile out there, make sure you put a call to action. So many people forget about doing this. So there'll be people looking for people in whatever technology field, and they'll come across you, and they'll find you. And sometimes they want to use you, but they don't have a means of connecting with you. Sometimes people forget to actually write a number where they can be contacted at, or even an email address or something for them to actually take it a little bit further. So you have no idea what the opportunity could be. So make sure you're always thinking business-minded in terms of what you're putting out there in order if you want to try and generate business for yourself. Okay? So I, through Training Personified, have written another program called the Unique Self Booster, USB for short. So it's a USB stick, you put it into a computer, and you can actually put the good stuff on there, but you also can erase the bad stuff. And that's what it's about. So the USB is about helping the mental health unemployed get back into work. So we're now in our 6th contract, and it's working. Our success rate is over 50% of those who they say are so hard to reach, who don't have that ability to actually get themselves into work, are actually getting into work. Because what do? We change the mindset. And it's not just people with mental health. We all have to keep reinventing ourselves and then encouraging ourselves and telling ourselves that we can do these things. So that's really what it's about, changing our mindset of where we're at or where we want to go to. We can't get to where we want to go to if we're doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, and we're wondering why we're not getting it. So you have to change your mindset. It's about elevating yourself up. So I now will start going through the 9 E's. So the first one is empowerment. And empowerment is about giving yourself permission. And what does that mean? So if you want to start your own company, if you want to go into tech, if you're already in tech and you want to do even more within the tech industry, it's about giving yourself permission to say, do you know something, I can do this, it's not too difficult. But it starts with you, and it means not relying on somebody else validating you. Far too many people wait and allow people to validate them before they go and do something. They'll ask, well, do you think I can do it? No, you tell yourself you can do it. That's the difference. This is now where you're now going to start leveling up. You are taking control of your life on your terms. So if you want to do it, you can do it. It's about applying yourself. Unless you apply yourself, you're not going to get anything out of it. So you can't wonder, why is it not working? So you have to empower yourself, and you have to give yourself permission. Then you have to enlighten yourself. And it's all about upskilling, knowing what your skill is. So if you have that skill, and even more importantly, the passion, follow the passion. So most people, when you get to an age of like 40, 50, you'll notice a lot of people going into an industry where they say, I've always wanted to do that. Cut that out, cut that middle bit out, and actually do it from now. If you have a passion for something, pursue it, follow it. Don't wait till later on, after you've gone through, I should do this job, or this is the way I should go. Forget the should, do what's in your heart. When you're doing something with passion, it becomes easy, and it becomes effortless. So people say to me, oh, I like your job, but I don't have a job in my eyes, because it's fun, it's effortless, it's something I enjoy, and that's what you want to do. Don't fall into something that you don't enjoy, and if you're actually feeling in that little gap, change it now. This is the time to change it and follow your passion. So even if you're in tech and it's one particular area in tech, you think, well, I can do it because I just can do it because I've got the skill, but I'd rather do that in tech. Follow what you want. Never discount the other things that you can do. Level them up, but always follow your passion. You know, it's great to have more than one skill, but once you've actually decided what that skill is, make sure you are the best within that field. Make sure you're at the top of your game. And make sure you're ready when anyone asks you questions that you can answer them. Don't say that you can do something, but when it comes to the crunch, you can't really follow it up. So make sure you know everything inside and out. It's for your benefit, and it will help your credibility in your field. Because as you can imagine, there's so many people that can do coding, that can do so many technological things, that actually you want to step out and be that expert in your field and stand in your purpose. Never actually say to someone that, oh, maybe I know a little bit or not. Hold your own and say, do you know something? I know this. And give them the confidence. When you've got confidence in yourself, it resonates to everybody else. And that's how you acquire those strong connections, those strong business acquaintances, because they believe in you because you believe in yourself. And that's what it's about. Make sure you stand in your purpose. Then it's about engagement. You've got to make sure that you connect with people and surround yourself, not just with people, the right people. Always, always think about doing a life audit. And what does that mean? Do you know, like you do a business plan and you check it off, or you do an MOT on a car and you've got to check that everything's working right and you're hitting everything, the oil's right level. You have to do that in your own life. We forget to do that. We do it with everything else. We check that our mortgage is being paid. We check that our insurance is up to date. But do we check if we're up to date? That's what you've got to do. Check if you're up to date. Check everything. Are the people around you who you have are in your close circle, are they serving you? Are they encouraging you? Or are they naysayers? Now, with the naysayers, don't apologize. Just say, you know, they're not for me, and move on. Make sure you surround yourself with strong individuals that elevate you, encourage you, and make you be the best version of you, and vice versa. It's not just one way. It's always thinking, how can I elevate somebody else? As well as, how can I be around people who can elevate me? When you are around those good people, you'll find that you will succeed even faster, even quicker. Trust me, it happens. You know, having strong individuals helps you not only just have a stronger knowledge, stronger confidence, but a stronger connection base. So it's really important. Then you've got to have, in fact, we'll go on to the next one. So we've got creating power teams. Oh, bless you. So, so creating a power team, especially within the tech business, there's so many different variations of tech companies. Why not collaborate? Why not look at, instead of just one man trying to be an island, why not try and be that collaborative, strong network and create a massive company by coming together? You know, why not become each other's referral partners? So if you do something similar but not the same, you could refer, because when someone's asking them for something, they might have to then send that customer elsewhere. Why not have that close bond where instead of sending a customer elsewhere and never probably getting the customer back, that then you refer them there. When it comes back to now, they want something that you do, they'll refer them back to you, so you keep the customer within. Yeah? So it strengthens your actual customer base. So think about power teams. So together, everyone achieves more. So we should have now the enrichment. So mind, body, and soul. Make sure you're always feeding your mind right. And you're always telling yourself that you are able to. Never do this negative self-talk. It actually creeps in. It creeps into people's minds, negative self-talk. You have to use your techniques to actually move that out of the way. You have to actually say, do you know something? I've got this. Today is my day. Yeah? You have to push these through. So for myself, I said earlier, I'm the motivational queen, that's because I've gone through so much adversity. So whether it was I was abused as a child, whether it was when I was in my 20s, attacked in my own home and raped and the perpetrator served 3 years in jail, or whether it was my father was tortured to death and brutally murdered, and whether I got death threats and I took a government to court and actually won on all counts, that's why I'm called the motivational queen, you know? But guess what? It's never stopped me, yeah? It makes sure that I'm always feeding myself to tell myself no matter what situation comes in your way, you can push forward. There's never anything too big for you to handle. It's only the way that you handle that might be too big. Do you see? It's not what comes to you, it's how you deal with it that makes a difference. So always make sure that you are literally being the best version of yourself no matter what, and don't allow things to become excuses. So don't say, I can't do this because of. There's never ever an excuse, but always solutions. So you have to change your mind and your mindset that there's a solution focus for everything. There's always a solution. So expression, how do you come across to people? So if you're networking, are you engaging? Do you make people feel that they can come and talk to you? Or do you make them feel that actually they don't want you in your space? Are you looking warm and engaging? These matter. You might not think about this, but it matters. People like to do business with people. And sometimes if they don't feel that connection, they don't do the business with you. So don't just think it's all on skill. And the skill of what you can do is not enough. You have to have that people-centric nature about yourself. So if you literally are stood there looking like you're chewing a wasp, why is somebody going to want to talk to you? If you're talking and you're not even giving them eye contact, you're looking everywhere else, and you seem disinterested, why are people going to want to talk to you? So expression is really important. Also, if you say you're a social media expert, and you're really saying this to like acquire business, and when it comes to your own social media, when you're being checked out, you've probably got one like every 10 posts if you're lucky at that, yeah? How is that going to give your customer confidence? You've got to stand in your purpose. Don't contradict what you say. If you say you can do it, you've got to actually show it. Don't just say it, let it show for you. So allow other people to give you video testimonies on LinkedIn, give you recommendations. Let other people speak about your successes, yeah? So if you've done a great job within your industry, within your field, you've done a service for your customer, ask them for a 30-second video. You're all tech-minded. You can actually convert it into a fancy video, you know, or you'll know somebody who does. So ask your customer. Don't be afraid to ask for that 30-second testimonial, because guess what you can do? That speaks for itself, and you can rely on other people saying that you have given a great service, or you can do that level of tech, you know. So make sure you're capturing capturing the testimonials, the feedback from people to use again in marketing. Think ahead, always think ahead. Other people promoting you is better than self-promotion. Self-promotion only gets you so far because people want to see actually that you can do it. Yeah? So then we go on to efficiency. You know, quality over quantity. Make sure you have the most articulate attention to detail. So you've got like people like Ifraz here, you know, from Asian Today. Yes, I know you're looking at me. So he stands in his purpose. He's his own brand. Everywhere you go, you always see him actually dressed to the nines, and he's always engaging, always giving eye contact, attention to detail, quality over quantity, efficiency. That's why even when he's not in the room, people always talk about this gentleman here, yeah? Do you see? And that's what you want people to talk about you when you're not there, because your attention to detail is so meticulous. The way that you post anything, if it's a social media you're promoting yourself through, is meticulous, yeah? So make sure that you always, when you send out, for instance, emails to people, put headers on. Headers at the top of your emails. You might think it doesn't mean anything. It does. It just takes it to another professional level. Spell check it. All these things. Attention to detail. Yeah? Then we have encouragement. So it's important not only to encourage other people, but to be your own cheerleader. Again, we forget to actually congratulate ourselves. We will literally tell ourselves, oh, I could have done that better, or why did I do this? Too many times. That needs to change. When that changes, your confidence level changes. Once you can actually more and more congratulate yourself, it starts becoming subliminal. And it just comes a way of you feeling more empowered. And actually, yes, you feel that you can do this. And the more and more you congratulate yourself and you hear it from other people, you start feeling like you've got an invisible shield on you. And anything just like bounces off you. Anything negative bounces off you. Because now you know that you're standing in your purpose. So then endurance. Never give up. Never. You're going to come at that point. There might be something that you're actually struggling with, and a problem that you've not been able to solve, and you're thinking, I want to give up. Don't. It's the moment when you're about to give up is when, if you can pass that barrier and you push through that barrier, it's when you'll feel the real exhilaration. And when you feel that real exhilaration right in that moment, that's when the magic happens. When you know that actually you've overcome that point where you thought you couldn't come back from, that's when you get more and more confidence, more and more saying, do you know something? I can do this. And do you know something? There's no challenge too big for me. And that's what you need to have within yourself, that no matter the challenge, it's never too big. And have it as a personal game with yourself. Okay, I'm going to literally stand up to this challenge and see if it takes me down. It will never. As long as you don't give up, it will never. Because the funny thing is, even failure is success in disguise. And what does that mean? Even when you get things wrong, there's a lesson to be learnt in there. There's always a lesson. But it's only if you can think about, well, do you know what? I got that wrong, or I couldn't quite do that, because there's a reason behind it. It's to get you actually to reassess it, look over it, and actually the next time you reassess and look over it, you will then understand the formula better. And that's the reason, yeah? So education is the last E. And education is about making sure that you understand that you never stop learning. In this ever-evolving evolution of technology world, you can never stop learning. Why? Because everything's always changing. And never sit on your laurels. Never feel, oh, because you've mastered something right now today, that's it. It's not it. There's always going to be something else. But don't wait for something else to come. You've got to start being innovative and creative yourself and preempting the market. The more you preempt the market, again, we talk about the personal brand, people are going to come to you if you're the one who's actually now being forward-thinking. Be that forward-thinking person, write the blogs, write some kind of articles that puts you as a leader in your field so people understand that you know it all, yeah? Be that leader that you want people to come to you as opposed to maybe somebody else, because that might make the difference of you getting a big contract or not. So you never, ever stop leading, but own your greatness. And I say greatness literally comes down to gusto, resilience, energy, ability, tenacity, noticeable, enjoy, structure, and succeed. So always have a positive mindset change. Never be happy where your mindset is. The key to a successful person, successful company, is knowing that you can push the boundaries and you can achieve more and more and more and not just be stuck in one place. It's a case of being malleable, and you can actually maneuver through different theories, different actual, experiences in life. So positive mindset change. Always think positive, move the negativity out, and you will succeed. So that is me, Zoe Bennett. And if you want to find out more about myself, just head over to motivationalqueen.com. And if you want to find out all about the court case and all the adversity thing, just type in Zoe Bennett, Jamaica. But that's me. Thank you very much.
Wow. How incredible. Thank you so much. I'd love to see if we've got time for questions, but we are running a little bit short due to some hiccups at the start. Are you okay to kind of hold on to any questions you might have for Zoe and just make sure you grab her during the networking time and kind of speak to her? She's got some great insight, and I've also found talking to her one-on-one where you can put a bit more context to your question is really helpful. She's got so much insight and so much knowledge, so thank you so much for giving us a whistle-stop tour of all your needs there.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, grab a seat. Okay, woo, take a breather. So, last but certainly not least, so a bit hilarious. Claire, when I asked Claire to do this, she was like, yeah, I've got loads to do. I've got to pick up the kiddies. I've got to do certain things. I was like, don't worry about it. Anything you do tonight will be brilliant. She's like, Pia, I don't have time for a slide. And I was like, don't worry, I'll make you one. What, don't you think that's good? She's probably never going to trust anybody to do that again. I just said, I found like 5 photos of your face and just put them on a screen. I hope that's okay. So there is a good bit there. People can follow you on Twitter if they like. But, just a little snapshot of Claire's life story there. Yeah, you have actually. Complete coincidence. Right, thank you so much. You're all concentrating so well. This is the last one. Zoe's going to give us about 10 minutes. Sorry, not Zoe. Claire's going to give us a review for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to break up for network and pizza. So, Claire.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my slideshow. Thanks for doing that, Pia. That's brilliant. I'm here tonight as part of DidFest, which I know Pia's going to mention a bit more in a bit, but it's basically, Diversity and Digital Festival. This year's theme, we've got a whole month of events talking about women in tech. It's really exciting. It's bringing the people together. And as part of that, and seeing all the wonderful things that are going on this month, I wanted to come along tonight and share my story with you. Because what we're talking about when we talk about women in tech is underrepresentation, only 17% in the UK tech industry. And we want everyone to chat about that and say, what can we do? How can we change things? And so that's what I want to do tonight, is just share with you a little bit of my journey, my story. I'm a new woman in tech who wasn't looking to get into tech. So I want people to just think a little bit differently about who's out there. How can we encourage more and different types of people into the industry? What does that look like? Where are those opportunities? And to think about how you can include them in your organisations. So my background was I studied modern languages at university, and then I set off for high seas and spent a decade working in the super yacht industry, which was very exciting times, perfect for my 20s, and I had a really rewarding and challenging career. And, I was headhunted from one role to the next, offered brilliant jobs all over the world. It was really, really exciting. And I finally hung up my deck shoes to return back to the UK to start my greatest and most challenging project to date, which was to start a family. And I decided that I was going to give this project my whole self as well, and took a 7-year maternal career break. And after that period of time, a change in circumstances meant that I needed to look at getting back into the workplace. And this felt like quite a big task, really. I was looking for a change of industry, a change of career, but my main goal was to find flexible work that meant that I could have, a rewarding career and still be there for the school run. I didn't want to compromise either of my roles. And this felt like a monumentous task, and it felt really bleak, to be quite honest. I was sort of, at home, laptop, toddlers, nappies, the lot, indeed.co.uk, no. And so it felt quite uninspiring. I thought maybe my career just needs to go on hold, and I set about doing odd jobs between the school runs, and I was doing a bit of cleaning and a bit of online admin and other boring things I don't care to mention. And I read this article in the BBC that there's about £1.3 trillion lost to the economy each year from workers taking lower skilled jobs or falling out of the workplace altogether in order to accommodate, their work-life balance needs. I had become part of the statistic, and it wasn't okay. So I set about, renewed gusto, I'm going to make a change. Something's got to change. And this was when technology first started working its magic in my life, and as I'd been looking at online courses that were sort of accessible to me by location or price or whatever, Facebook threw out a sponsored advert for the School of Code Bootcamp. Anyone heard of the School of Code Bootcamp? Oh yes, we got some boot campers in the house tonight. And it showed this advert, and it was a 16-week course about breaking down the barriers into tech. No prerequisites for understanding, knowing code, and I'd tick that box, great. And it was about, it was completely free. The first one was held here in this building. And it was about breaking down those barriers and, making it more inclusive, helping more different types of people get into tech. The application was super easy. I had no reason not to apply. And still top of my list, flexible working. I was like, if I'm going to break into a new industry and get this dream flexible job, surely the tech industry can accommodate that for me. So off I set on my School of Code bootcamp journey. And it was very challenging, very rewarding. Spent 16 weeks learning full stack JavaScript development. It's so tired, aren't you? Yeah. And but it was a really immersive course. We did lots of project work, teamwork. We were completely exposed to the whole of the tech industry in the region. Loads of people gave up their time to come and welcome us and tell us all about their companies and the roles available. And it was inspiring and it was exciting. And I was lucky enough as well during my time at bootcamp to win Silicon Canal's Graduate Developer of the Year. And that was a real pivotal moment for me, because it was, where we're sort of learning new thing, challenge, thinking, am I going to do this? Can I achieve it? I won this award, and I was like, do you know what? Not can I achieve it? I am doing this. This is really, really happening. And got through to the end of the course, which was brilliant. Dr. Chris Mears set up just most awesome experience, life-changing experience. And I got to the end, graduated, and without ever applying for a job, was offered these fantastic roles in the tech industry, all of them between the school run. And all my dreams had come true. I was like, this cannot be true. Somebody pinched me. I was sat in that living room, less than 6 months ago going, no. And then here I was with choices and an industry that was welcoming me in, new skills, new opportunities. And so I took a role with B13 Technology. We're a bespoke software consultancy. And I started out there as a project manager. And, quickly learning again, still every day we use offshore resource. And so, it was all, different time zones, and a new industry, a new job, but it was exciting. And I joined a scale-up business that had welcomed me in. And quickly, all my transferable skills then came into play as well. The things that I hadn't been able to value before. I was thinking, how do I get in somewhere? And then suddenly I found that actually all of that has real value here, and I quickly became part of that growth and strategy of the company, and became Associate Director at B13 Technology within the first few months. And it was exciting. We've had this year where I've been part of this company, and we have more than tripled in size. We've won Birmingham Post SME of the Year, an NHS Partnership Award with Medilink. We're opening up new offices in Vietnam. And the opportunities for growth and development are all there, and it's this combination of, you know, the great tech skills that Dr. Chris Mear gave me at School of Code, along with my transferable skills, and suddenly I was in this great environment where I found my confidence and my powers, my superpowers again. You know, that brilliant, rewarding career I'd had previously was right here for me again now. And I'm really enjoying my job and my role. And on top of that, I feel like I've been totally embraced by the tech community as a whole. I feel very privileged to sit on the board at Silicon Canal. And, you know, we're all about making this brilliant tech ecosystem, you know, connecting the people. It's all about connecting the people, supporting each other, like Piers already talked about tonight. Let's help each other. We've all got stuff that we need help with. Let's talk about that. And the same way that, you know, I'm talking about my story to help inspire others and, you know, maybe help other people think about different ways of including people, which is what DidFest is all about. And we've been really excited about, you know, we're like, yeah, lots of people are talking about women in tech. You know, change is difficult. How do you broach that? How do you have any kind of impact? And it's by bringing people together. And that's why, you know, the festival is a whole month-long celebration of what everyone in this region is doing and giving them all, you know, more sort of impact on what they're, you know, like if we come together and put it as a whole, we can say to the world, you know, actually, we did all of these things together. And I think the most important thing I've realized as well through the events we've had and the things that have happened already is what's really important with change as well is that storytelling and role modeling. And that's why I'm here telling my story today, because, you know, to keep that momentum going, you know, it might take years for changes, but, you know, you've got to keep the momentum going. So keep telling people. We've all got our stories. We've all got different ways we can think about different things. You know, let's make sure all the rooms, all the conversations are really inclusive, which is great to see a Women in Tech event that looks like this tonight. And, you know, inspire each other. So I'd really encourage you all to get involved in DidFest, go to some of the events, help us have more impact and more conversations and welcome more different types of people into the industry. Thank you.
Okay. How good is that, hey? I'm just aware of time. What are we vibing? People want to ask a question now, or do you want to hold your questions and ask Claire during networking? Yeah, strong yes at the back. Thank you, gentlemen. That's what I wanted. There we go. I wouldn't have asked it if I didn't want a response, so thank you very much. Okay, so I didn't really need to talk about DidFest because Claire, you did a superb job. There is still so many events happening this month. I'll send the link out tomorrow to everyone. Please follow it. Check out the events that are happening throughout the month. There are just a plethora of activities you can get involved in. This is just one very small piece of that pie, so please engage. And if you've got some ideas moving forward, let us know. You know, we don't want one-off events. This is about legacy. This is about change. This is about making a culture. Same with Women in Tech. You know, this isn't a once-a-year thing. Women, please come every single month. I mean, I'm here. I'm a woman. You know, join in. The amount of women that said, oh, I can't wait to come to this one because it's Women in Tech. And I'm like, well, it's no different. Literally, this is no different to every other week. So sorry to just burst that bubble. It's exactly the same every month when we do this. Please come along to that. And I just want to really mirror what Zoe said about get yourself out there. There are some great platforms for you to list your company. So Silicon Canal have a great directory. If you're a customer of ours here, virtual tenant, or have an actual desk space or are a part of any of our projects, you can be on our directory too. Please look out for those. Get yourselves on there. People do ask about them. I point people to them all the time. It's really, really worthwhile. And just want to say thanks to Claire for encouraging us to follow our passions. I think it's so true. You know, you follow your passion and you uncover skills you already had but you didn't know. And that's entirely Claire's story, and I just absolutely love that. So, oh, look at these two little superstars. Haven't they been so well behaved, guys? These two little kids down here. Right, enough of me, enough of this. Having a great night tonight, and we hope to see you next month. Goodbye.